It's certainly been an education.
Surviving is winning, Franklin. Everything else is bullshit. Fairy tales spun by people afraid to look life in the eye. Whatever it takes, kid. Survive.
Some games entertain, a select few revolutionize. Few franchises have shaped the gaming industry as profoundly as Grand Theft Auto. It's not just a game. It's a mirror reflecting society, a cultural movement that's redefined freedom, rebellion, and ambition in interactive media. From its humble beginnings on pixelated streets to the massive open worlds we explore today, Grand Theft Auto has captivated players with its unfiltered satire, thrilling gameplay, and jaw-dropping innovation. And now, with the first trailer for GTA 6 finally released after years of waiting and a potential 2025 launch, excitement has reached a boiling point. Fans across the globe are asking one thing: can Rockstar redefine gaming once more? Before we step into the future of GTA, let's rewind. Let's uncover how this franchise grew from a quirky experiment in Scotland to a global phenomenon that changed the face of entertainment. This is the story of Grand Theft Auto, its triumphs, its controversies, its groundbreaking legacy, and the road to GTA 6. This is the history of Grand Theft Auto. The first Grand Theft Auto might seem simplistic compared to the cinematic, sprawling worlds of today's blockbusters, but its DNA laid the foundation for the global juggernaut we know today. To truly understand its origins, we need to rewind the clock. Not to the bustling streets of Liberty City, but to a small studio in Dundee, Scotland. In 1987, an ambitious young coder named David Jones founded DMA Design in Dundee. The studio initially experimented with side-scrolling shooters and game ports, but their breakout hit came in 1991 with Lemmings. This charming puzzle platformer sold over 15 million copies, earning DMA global recognition. Yet, success with Lemmings wasn't enough for Jones or his team. They were hungry for innovation, something entirely fresh that could redefine gaming. This drive led to Race and Chase, the project that would eventually evolve into Grand Theft Auto. Its concept was simple yet daring, a top-down, open-world game where players could commit crimes, evade the police, and explore cities at their leisure. Inspired by the classic game of cops and robbers, the team envisioned a dynamic digital playground with 3 fictional cities: Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas, loosely based on New York, Miami, and San Francisco. But bringing Race and Chase to life was no easy task. Development of Race and Chase was riddled with challenges. Early builds were underwhelming. The car controls were clunky, the environments felt uninspired, and the gameplay lacked the excitement the team had envisioned. Gary Penn, DMA's creative director at the time, described the project as painfully slow, at one point even calling it unfun. Then, a programming glitch turned everything around. An AI bug caused police cars to aggressively ram the player's vehicle instead of simply pulling it over. Rather than patching the error, the developers decided to embrace it. This chaotic, adrenaline-fueled interaction transformed the game into something truly thrilling. The bug became a core feature, defining the high-stakes gameplay loop that would become synonymous with the series. With this revelation, the team reimagined the game. Objectives became more anarchic, restrictions were lifted, and Race and Chase transformed into a sandbox experience. It was no longer a mere racing game, but a chaotic playground of criminal escapades. Along with this shift came a new name, Grand Theft Auto. The title perfectly encapsulated the game's spirit of car theft, lawlessness, and unbridled freedom. When Grand Theft Auto launched in October 1997, the reception was mixed. Critics acknowledged the game's innovative design, but criticized its dated visuals and awkward controls. The top-down perspective felt antiquated in an era dominated by the 3D worlds of Super Mario 64 and Tomb Raider. Yet, despite the criticisms, players found something special. The game's open-ended structure, dark humor, and chaotic gameplay resonated deeply, creating a passionate fanbase. Through word of mouth, Grand Theft Auto gained momentum. By 1998, the game had sold over 1 million copies. A remarkable feat for a title that began as an experimental idea. It was a testament to the appeal of freedom and unpredictability in gaming, proving that innovation could outweigh technical shortcomings. The success of Grand Theft Auto marked the beginning of something monumental. Shortly after its release, Take-Two Interactive acquired DMA Design, rebranding it as Rockstar North. This partnership brought in new resources, creative minds, and an ambitious vision. With a focus on storytelling, immersive worlds, and cutting-edge technology, Rockstar North was ready to elevate Grand Theft Auto to new heights. But it all started with Race and Chase, a buggy, top-down game that stumbled into brilliance. The aggressive police AI glitch, the chaotic gameplay loop, and the developers' decision to embrace unpredictability laid the groundwork for one of the most iconic franchises in gaming history. From these humble beginnings, a legend was born. A legend that would go on to reshape the gaming industry forever. The leap to 3D didn't just change Grand Theft Auto, it redefined gaming itself. Released in 2001, Grand Theft Auto 3 wasn't merely a sequel, it was a groundbreaking revolution. It catapulted the series and Rockstar Games into the upper echelons of gaming history, becoming a blueprint for open-world games for years to come. By this point, DMA Design had been rebranded as Rockstar Games, and the studio's creative direction was firmly in the hands of the Houser brothers, Dan and Sam. The Housers, along with Leslie Benzies and Aaron Garbett, envisioned a game unlike anything the industry had seen. A world where players didn't just follow a linear path, but had the freedom to carve their own narratives. The arrival of the PlayStation 2 was a game changer. With its advanced hardware, Rockstar could finally bring Liberty City to life, realizing the potential of an open-world game in 3D. Dan Houser described their goal as creating a living, breathing world, not just a game. This ambition was uncharted territory at the time. While games like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time had experimented with open-world mechanics, none had ever attempted to replicate a fully realized urban environment. What set GTA 3 apart was how Liberty City felt less like a game map and more like a living, breathing character. The city was meticulously designed to feel alive, from pedestrians reacting to the player's actions to cars obeying traffic laws. The urban sprawl was layered with detail. Newsstands, alleys, parks, and bridges gave the impression of a place that existed beyond the player's immediate field of vision. But it wasn't just the physical environment that made Liberty City so immersive. It was the ambiance. Rockstar introduced fully voiced radio stations that played not just music, but also hilarious advertisements, satirical talk shows, and breaking news reports that reflected the player's actions. For instance, a mission might result in a destroyed building, and later, players would hear news reports detailing the event on the radio.
Good news for commuters from Shoreside. Engineers have finally managed to repair the damaged mechanism on the Staunton Lift Bridge, and it is now open to traffic flow both to and from Shoreside Vale.
This interactivity blurred the line between the game and the player's impact on the world. And then there was the narrative. For the first time in the series, GTA featured a protagonist with a story arc, albeit a silent one. Players took on the role of Claude, a criminal betrayed by his girlfriend and left for dead. The game's branching missions allowed players to work for various factions, from mobsters to corrupt cops, each with its own unique flavor of chaos. The level of freedom was unprecedented. Players weren't just following a set of objectives. They could steal a car, cause mayhem, or simply explore the city's nooks and crannies. Liberty City felt like a playground of possibilities, with no two players experiencing the game in exactly the same way. Of course, such freedom came at a cost. Controversy. Grand Theft Auto 3 pushed boundaries in ways that hadn't been done before, with its mature themes, graphic violence, and morally ambiguous missions. Politicians and media outlets were quick to condemn the game. The ability to carjack vehicles, commit mob hits, and evade police was seen as a glorification of criminality. The backlash was fierce. Rockstar was accused of corrupting youth and encouraging violence. Lawsuits were filed, and the game became a talking point in debates over video game ethics. But instead of damaging its reputation, the controversy amplified its appeal. For every scathing headline, millions of players were drawn to see what all the fuss was about. The game's notoriety became part of its identity, turning GTA 3 into a cultural phenomenon. By the end of 2002, Grand Theft Auto 3 had sold over 14.5 million copies, a staggering number for the time. Critics hailed it as a masterpiece, praising its innovation, depth, and sheer audacity. It won numerous Game of the Year awards and cemented Rockstar Games as a creative powerhouse. GTA 3 wasn't just a milestone for the franchise, it was a turning point for the gaming industry. It proved that video games could be more than entertainment. They could be art, capable of delivering complex stories and immersive worlds. It inspired countless developers to create their own open-world games, from The Elder Scrolls to Assassin's Creed. The success of GTA 3 set the stage for what was to come. Rockstar had established a winning formula, and the foundation was laid for future entries to push the envelope even further. But at this moment, in 2001, they had already accomplished the impossible, turning a niche series into a global phenomenon. With Grand Theft Auto 3, Rockstar didn't just make a game, they changed the rules of the industry. Liberty City wasn't just a place, it was a revelation, proving that gaming's potential was limitless. From here, the franchise was poised to scale even greater heights. If GTA 3 introduced players to the open-world revolution, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, released in 2002, took that formula and drenched it in neon lights, synthesizers, and pure 80s excess. This wasn't just a sequel, it was a love letter to one of the most iconic decades in pop culture. Inspired by the glitz and crime of 1980s Miami, Vice City transported players into a world of palm trees, pastel suits, and booming nightlife. The game wasn't just about playing in the 80s. It made you feel the 80s. One of Vice City's most memorable achievements was its soundtrack. Rockstar didn't just select popular songs, they curated an authentic auditory experience that captured the soul of the decade. From Michael Jackson's Billie Jean to Blondie's Atomic, every track served as a portal, plunging players into the glimmering, hedonistic vibe of the 80s. The radio stations in Vice City were masterfully crafted, offering not just music, but a slice of culture. Each station was packed with period-specific advertisements, talk shows, and witty commentary that poked fun at the decade's quirks. Whether you were cruising down Ocean Beach to the sultry sounds of Flash FM, or reliving rock classics on V-Rock, the radio wasn't just background noise, it was an essential part of the world building. The soundtrack was more than just nostalgia. It was a storytelling device. The music and radio dialogue grounded the player, making Vice City feel alive and relatable despite its over-the-top scenarios. It wasn't just a soundtrack, it was a time machine. Vice City also introduced players to Tommy Vercetti, a protagonist who changed how we viewed GTA storytelling. Unlike Claude from GTA 3, who was silent and enigmatic, Tommy was a fully realized character with a voice, personality, and ambition. Voiced by the legendary Ray Liotta, Tommy was a man with a dangerous past, fresh out of prison and looking to rebuild his empire. His journey mirrored classic gangster films like Scarface and Carlito's Way. Players weren't just controlling Tommy. They were living out his rise to power, navigating betrayals, alliances, and high-stakes deals. Tommy's dialogue and charm elevated the narrative. His sarcastic wit and unapologetic ambition made him both relatable and terrifying. For the first time, players weren't just an avatar, they were a character, deeply in the unfolding drama. The setting of Vice City itself was a masterpiece. Inspired by Miami, the map was a vibrant playground filled with beaches, nightclubs, mansions, and seedy back alleys. Every corner of the city had a unique personality, from the affluent Starfish Island to the chaotic Little Haiti. Players could spend hours exploring, engaging in activities that ranged from participating in thrilling car chases to flying helicopters over neon-lit skylines. Side missions expanded the gameplay, letting players take on roles like a taxi driver, a vigilante, or even a pizza delivery person. These elements added layers of depth, making Vice City feel like a bustling world rather than a static game. Vice City's release was a phenomenon. Critics praised its storytelling, immersive world, and unprecedented attention to detail. Players fell in love with the game's unapologetic embrace of the decade's extravagance. It sold over 17.5 million copies, becoming one of the best-selling games of its time. However, like its predecessor, Vice City wasn't free from controversy. Its depiction of violence, drug trafficking, and gang culture sparked outrage from media outlets and politicians.
The makers of Grand Theft Auto Vice City say the game is only intended for people who are 17 and older, but nothing prevents a younger person from buying it over the internet, getting it secondhand, or just borrowing it. Already the new game with realistic shoot-'em-up graphics is sold out everywhere. Parents groups are working overtime, launching an effort to keep the game out of young, impressionable hands. Still, this is a thriving industry, violent video games, selling more than $6 billion in software just last year.
But Rockstar, as always, leaned into the controversy, understanding that the notoriety only heightened the game's allure. For fans, Vice City wasn't just a game. It was an experience. It was a place where you could live out your 80s fantasies, from high-speed boat chases to epic shootouts in pastel suits. It expanded on everything that made GTA 3 great, and cemented Rockstar as a studio capable of crafting timeless cultural artifacts. Vice City wasn't just a step forward for the franchise, it was a leap. It proved that Grand Theft Auto wasn't just a series of games, but a cultural phenomenon, capable of capturing the essence of a time and place with unparalleled style and substance. By 2004, Rockstar had firmly established itself as a pioneer in open-world gaming. But with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, they didn't just raise the bar, they obliterated it. For the first time, players weren't confined to a single city. Rockstar gave them an entire state to explore, complete with 3 sprawling cities, vast rural areas, and an unparalleled sense of freedom. San Andreas wasn't just a game, it was a massive, living, breathing sandbox where players could lose themselves for hours on end. At the heart of San Andreas was Carl C.J. Johnson, a protagonist whose story felt deeply personal and grounded. CJ's journey began with tragedy. Returning home to Grove Street to bury his mother, he was immediately pulled back into the gang life he had tried to escape. The story wove a compelling narrative of loyalty, redemption, and ambition as CJ battled corrupt cops, rival gangs, and powerful corporations. Unlike Tommy Vercetti, whose rise to power was larger than life, CJ's journey was rooted in raw emotion and relatable struggles. His relationships with his brother Sweet, his crew, and a colorful cast of characters like Ryder, Big Smoke, and Catalina added layers of depth to the story. CJ wasn't just a vessel for chaos, he was a character players cared about, navigating the murky waters of family loyalty and the pursuit of the American dream. San Andreas wasn't just big, it was revolutionary. The game's map spanned 3 cities: Los Santos, based on Los Angeles, San Fierro, inspired by San Francisco, and Las Venturas, modeled after Las Vegas. Connecting these cities was a vast network of countryside, deserts, and small towns, each brimming with unique activities and secrets. Rockstar meticulously crafted every detail, making the world feel alive. From the palm-lined streets of Los Santos to the rolling hills of San Fierro and the neon-drenched casinos of Las Venturas, every location had its own distinct personality. Players could explore towering mountains, dive into oceans, and even venture into eerie restricted areas like Area 69, hinting at UFO conspiracies. If San Andreas had one defining feature, it was its sheer variety. The game didn't just give players an expansive map, it gave them endless possibilities. Want to skydive from a plane? Go for it. Prefer to rob a casino in a high-stakes heist? Done. Feel like starting a gang war or going for a casual bike ride in the countryside? The choice was yours. customization was a massive leap forward. Players could change CJ's appearance by hitting the gym to bulk up or indulging in fast food to gain weight. Tattoos, hairstyles, and clothing choices allowed players to make CJ uniquely their own. Vehicles could also be customized, with upgrades like hydraulics and custom paint jobs adding a personal touch. The game also introduced RPG-like elements. CJ's skills improved with practice. Shooting at the gun range made you a better marksman, while driving increased your handling abilities. These mechanics gave players a sense of progression that made their experience more immersive. Beyond the gameplay, San Andreas resonated with players because of its cultural relevance. The game was heavily inspired by the 1990s West Coast hip-hop scene, with nods to films like Boys and the Hood and Menace to Society. The soundtrack was an era-defining masterpiece, featuring tracks from artists like Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. The music wasn't just a backdrop, it was a part of the world, echoing through car radios and setting the tone for CJ's journey. Rockstar also tackled weighty social issues like police brutality, systemic corruption, and economic disparity, adding depth to the game's narrative. While some critics condemned the game for its mature content and controversial themes, others praised it for its boldness and willingness to push boundaries. San Andreas wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. It sold over 27 million copies, becoming one of the best-selling games of all time. Players were enthralled by its ambition, scale, and creativity. Even today, it's considered a benchmark for open-world design and storytelling. With San Andreas, Rockstar didn't just create a game, they crafted an experience that defined a generation. It proved that video games could be more than just entertainment. They could be sprawling works of art that reflected culture, challenged norms, and let players explore limitless possibilities. In 2008, Rockstar unveiled Grand Theft Auto 4, and with it came a seismic shift in tone and storytelling for the series. Known for its chaotic fun and satirical humor, the franchise took a darker, grittier turn. Set in Liberty City, the game traded outrageous antics for a more grounded, emotional, and mature narrative. It wasn't just another installment, it was a reimagining of what GTA could be, marking a bold new chapter for Rockstar Games. At the heart of GTA 4 was Niko Bellic, a character unlike any protagonist the series had seen before. A war veteran from Eastern Europe, Niko arrives in Liberty City chasing a promise of a better life and the allure of the American dream. But what he finds is far from the glitz and glamour he imagined. Instead, Niko is thrust into a world of betrayal, corruption, and violence, where his past haunts him at every turn. Niko's journey was deeply human. He wasn't the larger-than-life figure of CJ or the cold, calculated Tommy Vercetti. He was a flawed and introspective man grappling with his morality and decisions. His dialogue often reflected his inner conflict, torn between seeking redemption and succumbing to the brutal world around him. Players resonated with Niko because he felt real. His story was a poignant critique of the American dream, a concept sold as freedom and opportunity, but in Niko's case, revealed to be riddled with broken promises and exploitation. Through his struggles, GTA 4 explored themes of disillusionment, loyalty, and survival, elevating the narrative to a level rarely seen in games at the time. If GTA 4 had a second protagonist, it was Liberty City itself. Rockstar's reimagining of New York City wasn't just a backdrop, it was a living, breathing entity. The level of detail was unprecedented. Pedestrians had distinct behaviors, reacting dynamically to events around them. Traffic followed realistic patterns, and the city was alive with ambient sound, from distant sirens to street performers. The game was powered by Rockstar's proprietary Rage engine, which brought a new level of realism to GTA. The physics, powered by the Euphoria engine, made every interaction feel weighty and believable. Car collisions were no longer cartoonish, they were visceral, with crumpled metal and shattered glass. The city's weather effects, lighting, and textures created an atmosphere that pulled players into its gritty world. Liberty City wasn't just a map, it was a character. Each borough had its own unique vibe, from the industrial grimness of Bohun to the upscale decadence of Algonquin. The attention to detail was staggering, and for many players, simply exploring the city was an experience in itself. Rockstar's push for realism extended beyond the visuals. GTA 4 introduced a more grounded gameplay experience with a focus on narrative depth and immersion. The gunplay was refined, the cover system was improved, and missions often carried emotional weight. Even minor mechanics, like hailing a taxi or managing relationships via Nico's cell phone, added to the game's sense of realism. However, this shift wasn't without its critics. Some longtime fans missed the chaotic, over-the-top antics of earlier titles like San Andreas. The jetpacks, outrageous stunts, and extreme customization options were gone, replaced by a more subdued tone. For these fans, GTA 4 felt like a departure from the unrestrained fun they had come to love.
And the winner is Grand Theft Auto 4.
Grand Theft Auto 4, Rockstar Games, Rockstar North.
Despite the mixed fan reactions, GTA 4 was a critical and commercial triumph. It sold over 25 million copies and won numerous Game of the Year awards. Critics hailed it as a masterpiece, praising its storytelling, technological innovation, and immersive world. It redefined what open-world games could achieve and set a new benchmark for narrative-driven experiences. GTA 4 wasn't just a game, it was a statement. It proved that video games could tackle complex themes, create morally ambiguous characters, and craft worlds that felt alive. While it divided fans, it solidified Rockstar's reputation as a studio willing to take risks and push boundaries. As the series prepared for its next leap forward, GTA 4 left an indelible mark on gaming history, proving that even in a franchise built on chaos and satire, there was room for introspection and realism. When Grand Theft Auto 5 launched in September 2013, it wasn't just another game release, it was a cultural event. It shattered sales records, grossing $800 million in its first 24 hours and crossing the $1 billion mark within 3 days. But this was more than just a commercial success, it was a defining moment in gaming history. Rockstar Games didn't just raise the bar, they obliterated it, redefining what open-world games could achieve and setting a benchmark that developers still chase today. For the first time in the series, GTA 5 introduced not one but 3 protagonists: Michael DeSanta, Franklin Clinton, and Trevor Phillips. This bold storytelling decision gave players 3 distinct perspectives on the chaotic world of Los Santos. Michael was a retired bank robber living a life of discontent in suburban luxury. Franklin was a young man trying to escape the cycle of street crime. And Trevor was the unhinged wild card, a living embodiment of the series' chaotic spirit. Switching between these characters added a dynamic layer to the narrative, allowing players to experience the story from multiple angles. The interwoven narrative wasn't just innovative, it was immersive. Missions often required coordination between the 3 protagonists, whether it was pulling off a daring heist or navigating personal vendettas. The characters' interactions felt organic, with sharp dialogue and evolving relationships that added depth to the story. Michael's midlife crisis, Franklin's ambition, and Trevor's unpredictable mania created a trifecta of storytelling brilliance that kept players hooked from start to finish. If Liberty City in GTA 4 was a masterpiece of urban realism, Los Santos in GTA 5 was a living, breathing world. Inspired by Los Angeles, Los Santos wasn't just a map, it was an ecosystem. From the glittering skyline of downtown to the sun-soaked beaches of Vespucci, every corner of the city was meticulously crafted. The attention to detail was staggering. Pedestrians carried out their daily routines, reacting to the player's actions with surprising realism. Wildlife roamed the countryside, and the game's dynamic weather system made the world feel alive. Players could spend hours simply exploring, stumbling upon hidden locations, random encounters, and Easter eggs that added to the game's mystique. But the magic of Los Santos extended beyond its visuals. It was the activities and interactions that brought the world to life. You could play a round of golf, invest in the stock market, customize your car, or just sit back and watch in-game TV. Every aspect of Los Santos felt designed to immerse players in a world that was as entertaining as it was expansive. While GTA V's single-player story was a masterpiece in its own right, Rockstar's most ambitious move was GTA Online. Launched a month after the base game, it started as a chaotic multiplayer mode, but quickly evolved into something far more substantial, a sprawling, ever-changing platform that has kept players engaged for nearly a decade. In GTA Online, players could create their own characters and carve out a life in Los Santos. What began with simple missions and races grew into a vast online experience with regular updates, including heists, business ventures, and even alien wars. The game's economy allowed players to buy properties, customize their arsenal, and build empires. The introduction of heists was a game-changer. These multi-part missions required teamwork and planning, offering rewards that felt earned and satisfying. Over time, Rockstar continued to expand GTA Online, adding elements like the Diamond Casino, underground bunkers, and even nightclubs. Each update brought new opportunities and challenges, keeping the game fresh and engaging. But perhaps the most fascinating development has been the rise of role-playing servers. These community-driven servers transformed GTA Online into a platform for creative storytelling, where players could take on roles as cops, criminals, or civilians in a shared world. This unexpected evolution showcased the depth and flexibility of Rockstar's creation. By 2023, GTA had sold over 185 million copies, making it one of the best-selling video games of all time. Its impact on gaming and pop culture is immeasurable. From the memes it inspired to the countless hours poured into GTA Online, the game transcended its medium to become a phenomenon. But the real legacy of GTA V lies in its innovation. It proved that video games could deliver complex narratives, immersive worlds, and multiplayer experiences that evolve over time. It set a standard for open-world games and showed that a single title could dominate the gaming landscape for years. As fans eagerly await the release of GTA 6, the shadow of GTA V looms large. Its success is both a triumph and a challenge, a reminder of what Rockstar achieved and a benchmark they must surpass. For now, GTA V remains the crown jewel of the franchise, a testament to the power of ambition, creativity, and relentless innovation. After over a decade since the release of GTA V, the gaming world is on the edge of its seat. In December 2023, Rockstar unveiled the first official trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, confirming the franchise's return to Vice City and setting the internet ablaze with speculation. The trailer promised a sprawling, vibrant world, capturing the iconic neon-soaked atmosphere of Vice City while pushing the boundaries of modern gaming technology. Slated for a 2025 release, GTA 6 is already shaping up to be Rockstar's most ambitious project yet. Rumors and leaks have painted an intriguing picture of what GTA 6 might deliver. Dynamic weather systems, evolving storylines, and a level of detail that surpasses anything we've seen before. Rockstar is once again aiming to redefine the open-world genre. One of the most exciting elements is the inclusion of multiple protagonists, including a female lead for the first time in the series' history. Early speculation suggests that the story will explore themes of loyalty, betrayal, and survival in a world of escalating chaos. The dynamic interplay between characters, akin to GTA V, promises a narrative as engaging as it is immersive. But the innovation doesn't stop at storytelling. Rockstar is reportedly leveraging cutting-edge technology to create a world that feels alive. NPCs are expected to have enhanced AI, reacting more realistically to the player's actions and the environment. Imagine pedestrians seeking shelter during a rainstorm, or criminals adapting their strategies based on the time of day. This kind of immersion could elevate the series to new heights. The map itself is rumored to be massive, incorporating not only Vice City, but surrounding areas inspired by South Florida and the Caribbean. Players might be able to explore a diverse range of environments, from bustling urban centers to remote islands. The potential for dynamic gameplay, whether it's chasing a storm across the map or engaging in high-stakes heists in unpredictable locations, sets the stage for a truly groundbreaking experience. And then there's the economy. Rockstar has hinted at a more sophisticated in-game economy, where players can invest in businesses, manage resources, and experience the consequences of their financial decisions. This could add a layer of strategic depth, making the game world feel even more immersive. Finally, the online component of GTA 6 is expected to build on the foundation of GTA Online. With over a decade of experience running one of the most successful multiplayer platforms, Rockstar is likely to introduce new systems and features that will keep players engaged for years. The possibilities are endless. Customizable characters, expansive role-playing opportunities, and regular updates that evolve the game world in real time. Grand Theft Auto isn't just a video game franchise, it's a cultural institution. From its humble beginnings with Race and Chase to the groundbreaking innovations of GTA 5, the series has consistently pushed the boundaries of what gaming can achieve. It has influenced everything from game design to storytelling, and its impact on pop culture is undeniable. As we stand on the cusp of GTA 6, one thing is clear. Rockstar isn't just making a game, they're creating an experience. They've redefined gaming time and again, and now they're poised to do it once more. Whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer, the legacy of Grand Theft Auto is a testament to the power of ambition, creativity, and the unrelenting pursuit of excellence. The road to GTA 6 is almost at its end, and the journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Now, all that's left is to see how Rockstar will once again change the game. The stage is set, the world is watching, and the countdown has begun. If you made it to the end, I just want to say a huge thank you. Your support truly means a lot. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of our other content. We've got plenty more stories to share. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Your support helps us keep bringing you these deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.